G'day guys, I'm out on another pest control contract. I've got the quad bike, the 308 Wedgetail. There's meant to be a few pigs around. There's always foxes here. Call this one a maintenance job. I have hammered the animals here pretty hard. They haven't seen heaps around, but they do get me back to keep things in check. Let's see how we go. I've arrived on the property. I've got everything unpacked, quad bikes out. I've settled into the cabin that I stay in. Hot to trot. It's been a really nice drive out here today. The feed levels have definitely changed. Some of those weeds are quite high at the moment. Other areas are really dry, so it's going to be an interesting one to find where to target those animals, but I'm sure I'll have a few tricks up my sleeve. The scenery on the drive, as usual, really nice. I do get to travel some nice country to do these jobs. Very fortunate for that. At the moment it's a little bit too warm to do anything, so we'll let it cool down. Once that temperature does drop, the sun gets a bit lower, we'll head out into those hills and see what I can find. I've just been asked by the property owner if I can get him some dog meat, so goats on the agenda. I really like these white animals. They're easy to find. They're not like trying to spot pigs and deer. There are some coloured ones up there. Maybe I should target them so we can continue easy sighting of the white goats. I've just very quietly poked my way up this ridgeline on the quad bike. The gate should be about 200 metres up there if they haven't heard me and run off. The wind is blowing straight down, so that's good. And I've got cover. Go and stick our nose over, see if they're still there. I'm just having a little bit of a look which one I want to shoot. There's some with reasonable horns on them up in here. There's not normally, so I don't know whether to shoot one of those, take the head as well, or just shoot one for meat. The problem is all the good looking meat ones are white, and the other ones are behind the trees. Double lung shot on this billy goat. You do forget how much these animals stink. Putrid things. Should have shot a nanny. Oh well, I wanted to shoot one of the camo ones. Time to make our goat a little bit lighter. I've hoisted it up over a branch with a piece of rope using the quad bike. Work smarter, not harder. It's always amazing how much smaller and lighter these animals are without the gut bag on them. You could probably see with that goat when I had it hanging, it was very, very bloated. It's been eating all day. Much easier to handle like this. I've dropped that goat off to the property owner. He's happy. I'm just out for a big tour this afternoon. I'm up in all this mountain country. I haven't been in this area of the property before. The view out that way, it's fantastic. I'd love to show you guys, but that's not how I roll. I'm happy to share what hunting I do, but not the locations. So great little cruise up in here until I got to this big washout in this gully. I don't think I'll be able to get the quad bike across it. It probably doesn't look too bad on the video, but that's ground level. That's the bottom. It's probably enough to put a quad bike on its side if I try and get across there. This might be a really bad idea, but I've built a little bit of a ledge along there. The quad bike isn't all that wide, so I should be able to skirt next to that big rock there. Come across this shelf. Piece of cake. That'd have to be the 3 unluckiest pigs in the world with all that wind and everything blowing down that valley. It's probably 200 metres across there. That's been a really good lap up in there, couple of pigs on the deck, but generally quiet. At the moment, I'm just cutting a beeline back to the cabin. We'll get the thermal gear on the rifle, head out in the dark, see what I can find tonight. Got quite a few pigs across the road over here, under that cursor there and over there. I'd say they're about 1,300 metres away because that tree there is 1,100 metres. One more there, pigs behind it, pigs there, pigs there, pigs there. I want to try and get in on that group there. Hopefully those guys and that pig run back towards those. I've just got to play this wind, it's pretty bad. He's a big, tall, slim pig, this guy. I thought he was really large. Certainly a good pig, probably 70 kilos. It just goes to show what it looks like in the thermal, though, against the animals that they are around. All those other ones that I've slotted were probably only 30 kilo pigs. A couple of other decent boars there, but I'm running my usual 150 SST Fiocchi rounds, and those are fair zipping through those little pigs. Three things came out of that. Firstly, this clip will be in black and white because all of that stuff up there is all super red claret. Two, the feed in here is really long. Those pigs absolutely disappeared once they started running around. This animal here came behind me, which was kind of amusing because it ran straight past the thermal monocular that I set up on a tripod behind me. So you'll see that off to the side in the clip when I shoot it. The other thing that is super annoying in here is the wind. It has done 360s on a 10-minute walk in here. It's been behind me, next to me, in my face. Predominantly it's on my face, but it's swirling, and that busted some of those other pigs off. So very annoying. I'm going to have to try and contend with that. Very difficult when shooting pigs. You have to get that wind right. Certainly going to be a challenge. These hay bales look really good in the thermal, especially when they're fresh. There's a couple of hares out here, just decked a fox. A few birds in the background there. I don't know why, I'd always wanted to put a fox on a bale of hay, get a picture. Oh well, guess I can scratch that itch now. I just found this really cool spider on the hay bale. I don't actually know what type of spider it is. A few angles at it. If anyone knows what it is, let me know down in the comments. Very interesting. He's a tusky fella. He's been in the water too. He's a pretty solid pig. It's time to call out Ben from Hunt the Night as the big channel supporter and sponsor of this video. If you are in the market for thermal or anything else that I'm using here tonight, have a look on his website or go and have a look in his new store in Pakenham. He stands behind the products that he sells. He really knows his stuff, as I've personally spent time with the man. And yes, he does know a lot about thermals, more than me. I'm just a knob that comes out here and uses them, but he certainly goes right into that rabbit hole of what is the best device for someone to use. Anyway, check him out. I'm not going to show you a photo or a video of the aftermath of this. Let's just say that the fox cubs are out and about. It's rather messy running a 308, but it's one of those jobs that has to happen. Soon enough, these little guys will be big guys and doing damage like their mum and dad did, so they have to go. Do I hate foxes? I actually don't. I find them a very interesting small species. Unfortunately, they do so much damage in Australia, both to our native species and also in the agricultural industry, so they have to go, large or small. I'm having the on-track meals beef bolognese tonight with the flameless heater pack. Cow deciding to interrupt me, very rude. And Singapore noodles instead of pasta, so you can put that in with the flameless heater pack, and I'll show you what I do with it next. There's our initial cook-off, and that thing is chugging away down in there. So what I do, I give it about a minute to let that process settle down a little bit, and then I chuck it in the box on my quad, loosely close the lid. What it lets me do is while tea heats up, I can keep riding around and shooting maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll pull up and have it. It's bloody awesome because I can have hot tea. I'm not wasting heaps of time doing it. I filmed that last clip as I warmed this up and said I can keep shooting. I didn't think that I'd ride about 300 metres. and shoot some pigs. I did hear a noise up there while I was filming that last clip, and I discounted it for a cow because they were being noisy buggers, but no, it wasn't a cow. There were pigs up there. I've just chased half a dozen pigs up through all of this grass, and I've realised as got through the fence and I hammered them on the other side, I didn't have the scope on record, so all a little bit fast and furious. Sorry guys, it's how it rolls sometimes. This little bugger was chewing on something when I shot him. It was a parrot. Little bastard. And that's about as close as we're going to go to those rabbits. We ain't be eating those guys. I was trying to get 2 for 1. Nearly. Wasn't for lack of trying. Better luck next time. That heat source there in the grass, pretty sure that's a pig the way it was moving before. Go a little bit closer, check it out. I just heard some magpies before. I think that's time to call it a night or a morning. It's a nice boar to finish everything off anyway. I came up here to check this dam. I won't find any in that. A little bit of sign over there, a little bit there. Other than that, it is dry. We shall continue. I'm just doing a little bit of glassing up in this valley here. I thought there were pigs, but there's some goats. There's a couple of black ones, brown ones, and now I've just seen a white one. So those black ones, I thought they were pigs, but nope, they're off limits in this corner, so we'll just sit here. I've got a good view down into this little bit of a basin. A couple of little pigs just ran up through that fence there. All those cattle are behind them, so no safe shot. That's annoying. Beautiful Aussie sunset happening behind me here. It's time to get the glass scope off my rifle, the binos away, and get the thermal binoculars out and get my thermal rifle scope on the platform. I've got my day scope off, so I run a Delta Striker HD 1:10 by 28, and we're now in night mode, so I've got the Thermion 2 LRF XL60 up on there. Platform as usual at the moment, it is my Wedgetail WT25 chambered in 308. Binoculars all mounted up, so's the red torch. That's a straight LED, not a filter, makes a big difference. That is all plumbed into this remote screen here, so I can see exactly what the thermal does while I cruise around. Now all there is to do is eat some biscuits. They're Aldi Copy Oreo biscuits, no idea what those guys are like. have a little bit of coke and wait for it to get proper dark. Got a heap of kangaroos that have come in down here, but nothing else at the moment. We'll give it another 15 minutes and we'll start rolling. Just saw these guys there on the screen. That's a couple of pigs coming down the creek. Let's get busy. Well, that was 3/4 crap. I didn't realise that down in that gully the wind is blowing back that way. So big reminder straight off the bat to get the wind right. 150 SSTs, didn't like that at all. Job done. And I also shot a bonus fox down in the gully under where the pig started. Little bit of a hot lap on this one. I didn't feel like walking down. Never discount a red torch. I picked up eye shine off this fox as I was cruising down the track. Wouldn't have even seen it with the thermal in the grass. Didn't want to hang around though. Managed to rip one into it just as it turned. Very fortunate timing. I'll take that. That's what we're looking for. Full disclosure, I can't tell what colour these pigs are in the thermal. They're just heat, and I use white hot. But I think I shot the ringer first, so yeah, was that discrimination? I don't know. These long nights can be really quiet and start to drag out if you haven't pulled the trigger in a while. Fortunately, I've just come through a creek line up here and there were two pigs up on the hillside just moping along, so I've shot them off the rail on the quad bike. I couldn't get enough elevation. I had to put my fist under it to get the fore end of the rifle up high enough so I could get down at the back, but ended out working not too bad. I have to give a little bit of credit to the equipment that I am using. This Thermion 2 LRF XL60, absolutely fantastic. As you can see, chewing into the pigs nice and close with that big wide field of view due to the HD sensor. But it is also excellent at the foxes at long range. I've taken some at about 250 metres. As you'll see on this one, just over 200 metres, headshot. Also have to give a call out to this Wedgetail WT25 rifle. Now I know a lot of people would think a short barrel 16-inch 308 wouldn't be all that accurate. Tell you what, this thing is sub MOA and it is absolutely crunching these foxes. Here's a steak for you. No, not the type that you eat. You've got to wonder how that thing got up through there. Just scuffed up next to my leg between the rifle. That was lucky. I'm up and at 'em this morning, now for the drive home. That's been another really successful shoot. 29 foxes, 36 feral pigs. Big thanks to the property owners that had me out to help them on this job. If you did like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Ensure you subscribe to the channel with the bell icon on. I'd really appreciate it if you'd like to have a look at my Patreon. And I'll see everyone next time.